What up, what up, what up, people? What's good? Y'all know what it is, your boy Big Boosie, man. Doing the things I like to do as usual. Wait for a few people to come in. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure that you hit that like button. Hit that like button on the comment. Hit the subscribe button. Show your brother some love. I'm on the rise. I'm at 7,000 subscribers and some change. We going up to 10,000, man. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hit that notification button so you'll know when I'm up in here. And once again, please hit that like button, man. And we rolling, baby, we rolling. Got to have them grapes. Good water. Part of that good, keep the fountain of youth around. Eating good little workout. Trying to wait for some people to slide in. A few more people. What y'all got going on out there, man? I know the weather's been wishy-washy, up and down. North Carolina got the craziest pollen ever in history. Has I ever seen pollen like the way it is now? It's going through the air like big clouds of it, globs, clouds of it. Never seen that like that. I'll come outside and it'll be dusty all over the cars and houses, but it's traveling now through the air and you could visibly see it. That's crazy. That's wild. And a lot of people is really allergic to that. Thank God that I'm not allergic to it, because that's crazy. It's rough out here, y'all. So yeah. I want to get into a few things. What's affecting everybody's community everywhere. These police are out of control. Jazzy Barnes. Jazzy said having eat dates. I never ate dates. I might try and see what it do. I try to make sure I eat a lot of the good stuff that's good for you, because I'm always on the run. Somebody named Dre said, "Why your eyes yellow?" Maybe because I'm tired. I work hard. That's probably why right now. I don't smoke weed, so I don't know. But why is you all in a man's eyes, Dread, with a name like Dread? Come on, bro. Wrong channel. But anyway, I want to get into this police situation, man. It's crazy. It's out of control. How many people we done seen lost their life to people, or should I say, to people that's supposed to protect and serve our community, which is the police. And pulling over people illegally. Then, when they don't find nothing, they come up with a charge and want to try and charge you with something. Then they want to call it obstructing. What am I obstructing? You obstructed my investigation. How you are investigating something that wasn't a crime? And see, a lot of people don't know the law, and they fall victim to this stuff with these police. A lot of our young youth don't know the law, and but they know they didn't do anything wrong. They end up arguing and always end up eventually turning the situation into a struggle and a tussle, and then they put them other charges on them as well. A lot of times it get dismissed once it touched one of these cameras and it's all over the YouTubes and in the news is when they'll dismiss it. But if it don't hit these YouTubes and the news, they will never dismiss it. How you coming back and forth to court for a charge that the police made up just to do their job now, or fake doing their job, should I say. Now you have these police that could pull you over, make up any kind of whatever they want to make up, and don't get. And when it's found out that they made it up, they don't get held accountable for it. And you just have to go back and forth to jail. Might lose your jobs. People that lost their jobs with these fake charges that get put on them just because the police violated a person's rights, and they out there searching just for something to do when it's really crime really going on. Now, either the police be scared to go and really real, out in the real crime neighborhoods. You got ones that is gangster with it, and they full of crap too that will be in them neighborhoods, but they put stuff on people in our neighborhoods and get them crime, get them and get a person that might not even have a criminal record at all for the first time. Now they get a criminal record. And you have to go back and forth to court, just to prove your innocence. And who does the courts always believe? They're going to believe the officer. But thank God for a lot of these cameras and a lot of these news reporters that do report when these police do corrupt stuff. But thanks to a lot of lawyers that's out here that have YouTube channels as well, that pull people coats with what to do, and or they broadcast it and they let you know that I would help you. Just hit me up on my emails, or all of the above. And they out here fighting for what's right. Then you have a lot of police that don't like what the police do, because there's not all bad police. I always tell people that there's still good police out here. Jaggy said, very important to buy a camera, dash cam. Yep, very important at this point. Not for criminals, for the police that are criminals. It can be purchased at a very reasonable price on Amazon and could save you from a lying cop. That's a fact. These are the things that we need to know. These are things that we need to teach our children before they walk out that house, because they are targeting our kids, man. From 14 to 21. 21 is still a kid, even though a grown person at 21 you consider a grown person, but to us that's still our kid. And the police play with their lives, and they play with a lot of people's lives because people don't know the laws, and they come up with all these extra charges. And what's another one of their charges? Damn, it'll come to me in a minute. But obstructing is one of their favorite ones. Oh yeah, resisting arrest. You can't resist arrest if you haven't been arrested. I mean, if you haven't committed a crime, excuse me. Resisting arrest is a secondary offense. Now, if you committed a crime and you trying to fight and not to be put in handcuffs, yeah, now you resisted arrest. But if they putting you in handcuffs and you asking why and what's wrong, and they don't tell you what the crime is, then that's a no-no. That's a secondary offense for them to even write that up. And they get away with writing it up until things hit these cameras and hit the public. Ro Williams said, sorry to let you know this summer, what you're talking about right now is going to happen. Every day in every city, bro. Bull City is on fire. No, I get it. You're right, Ro Williams. And that's why it's important for us to have these conversations as a whole. Because the more they do it and the less we talk about it, and actually try to reach out to these politicians, we got to start going downtown when they have the meetings with the mayors and all that stuff. We got to. Because at the end of the day, just like you said, it's going to happen in all the cities. But these police going to do what they want to our kids when they come outside. And I'm going to give you all a good example so we can go from here.
They tell you this to your face. Black Hispanics between 14 to 21. They must get stopped. At the end of the month, these officers, whoever don't have that arrest or those few summonses, they're pressured to find something. You might not see nothing. You're supposed to be visible. You might not see anything, but you go hunting, like bounty hunting for an arrest. Locking up some old guy, some homeless guy, finding somebody who's riding a bicycle on the sidewalk, who's spitting, and you bring him in. The problem is when you go hunting, when you put any type of numbers on a police officer to perform, we are going to go to the most vulnerable. The most vulnerable. Of course, we're going to go to LGBT community. We're going to go to the black community. We're going to go to those people that have no vote, that have no power. If we start doing what we're doing in Midtown Manhattan, a phone call to the mayor's office is going to be made. That's going to be the end of it. We're the predators, they're the prey. The worst thing you can have is a police officer that needs an arrest for the month.
So you're all minorities. How does that make you feel?
It's horrible. This is something coming from the top that trickles its way down, and this is why we're all here today.
And this is what I'm saying.
This to your face.
This is what I'm saying. Those are all police officers sitting on that panel that did not approve of what they was being told to do to their own community, their own people where they come from. That's crazy right there. That's a fact. Roe Williams said legal shield is real. Straight lawyers. That's a fact. They got immunity to do whatever they want to do until it's proven on these cameras, and then it take forever to get them locked up. And when it's something that's really real and they know that the cop really violated, they don't put the body cam out for months. But if it's something that is and when I say really real, meaning that the police really violated or killed somebody and it's right on camera, and they gotta watch the body cam, and it take 30 to 4 to 5, 6 months and stuff like that before they release it. But when the police did things the correct way, might have shot and killed somebody the correct way, the body cam be out the next day. So it's obvious it's right in our face, and we don't do nothing about it. Y'all heard what this officer just said on and sitting on that panel. He said they target LBGQ, TQ, however you said, communities, the black communities, Hispanic communities. He said, but let you go downtown and start doing that and signaling out down to Wall Street. A phone call gonna get made to the mayor's office immediately, and then it will stop. Now, I know we make phone calls. There's some people that make phone calls inside of our urban neighborhoods, and it still doesn't stop. But it gets quiet. Nobody keeps talking about it. Nobody, until something happens to one of us from a cop. Then we'll rally against it for a little while. Then it'll die down, and that's all the police do. And their superiors tell them, just wait for a little while. It's going to die down, depending on the matter of it. But any little small thing matters when it comes to violating somebody's child when they walk outside from 14 to 21. You just pick on them, or pick them because you didn't make your quota for the month with a real arrest. Half the police is scared to go out in them real arrest communities that where crime, let's keep it real, crime goes on a lot of places, man. And they scared to be out there. They have task force that be out in them communities, but they also will plant stuff on people because in their eyes, they already look bad by growing up in the areas that they grow up in. So when the police is in the courtroom, they look like they are the good guys and those are the bad guys, man. Roe Williams said racial profiling in Raleigh and Johnston County caused me to spend money on legal shield. Word life. Oh, Roe Williams, boy, do I know. I got a humongous story about Raleigh that's very recent that I'm going to share later on down the road once I figure some things out. Jazzy said, yeah, going to those city council meetings are important, knowing who the council members are. That's a fact. And the more people go, they're gonna realize, damn, it's more and more people coming down here now. What's going on outside? Yeah, because we need to be out. We need to be in there. We need to start making more noise up in them places because they are police. They can't break the law to enforce the law. And y'all supposed to get paid and y'all getting our taxpaying money, and y'all violating our people on top of it. It's like I'm giving you money to rob me of my good life, rob me of my freedom, rob me of my future. Because when our kids get felonies, it's going to be hard for them to get jobs. They ain't stopped that yet. It doesn't matter if they went and served time, a felon should be able to get a job if they went and paid their debts to society. That shouldn't even be a factor in law. That should be erased. They shouldn't even have to say that they even did any time. That felony shouldn't never even pop up if they can go and look up a person's background. It shouldn't pop up. It shouldn't matter if they served their time already. We are in trouble out here, y'all. We are in trouble. The police can do what they want to do, and you have to prove to get out of it. You are innocent until proven guilty. Now that's crazy. Even when you're on probation. Okay, this probation stuff. They can violate you for a charge just because a police said you did something you probably didn't even do it. So it should be a law against violating somebody until the case is over with. They won't let you off of probation until the new case is over with, depending on the discretion of the judge. But if you finished your probation, that other case shouldn't have nothing to do with nothing. You are innocent till proven guilty. How? What kind of law is that? There have to be something in the Constitution that states that shouldn't be able to even exist. If a person finished probation, why could they hold you for another charge just to see if you get convicted for that charge, then they can violate you for that. Once probation is over with, you should be able to duck being violated because probation is over. In that case, just taking long to continue going on, which you are still innocent. So if a person is innocent, that's contradictive. I'm innocent till proven guilty. So if I'm innocent, that overrides you violating me or holding me on probation. That should be against the law and some type of constitutional rights. Jazzy Barnes said educating more people on expungements can help too. That's a fact. But after you get out, you got to wait a certain amount of years before you can get your record expunged. I think 7 years or something before you can get it expunged. But it needs to be done though. But it's still a holdup in a person's life when they get out and then they on parole and they can't get a job. Then they'll lock you up if you don't get a job. Then they'll get any kind of job that they can to try to sustain, and it really not paying nothing but it's backbreaking. And you might even had a degree before you went to jail. Come home and can't get a job because you got a felony on there. So now that creates friction. And it's basically looking like it's designed that way because they want you to go back out and do crime. That's why they make it 7 years before you can get your record expunged. Even if it was 2 years, it should just automatically get expunged after you finish doing your time. Why you gotta get it expunged? If it can be able to get expunged, that means it should be able to be done with as soon as you get out of jail. But I get it. They want to see if it take you 7 more years to be a successful person on the street without that felony popping back up. That's wild. But throughout that 7 years, it holds a person back from being able to get a promising job. They've served their time, so now they can live a good life without worrying about going back to jail no more. But no, they can't because they can't get a good job. So throughout that 7 years, they got to fight hard to be out here in society, which is rough. Bills don't never stop coming. That's crazy. Jazzy Barnes said, Just imagine how many people lost jobs when weed was illegal. Exactly. Shaking my head, or had probation violations because of that. That's a fact. A lot of people, man. A lot of people. And like I told people the other day, weed is equivalent to when liquor was shunned upon back then against the law, and they made it legal. And now they got different names and for their liquors, just the same as marijuana is now. And certain states marijuana is still illegal. I guess they trying to figure it out, but it's a brush in the air that it is um, legal, but not all the way recreational legal. Like North Carolina is one part is the Indian reservation is fully legal, all recreational, and that's North Carolina, but just in that area. And then you can get the business license, but you can sell weed, but it got to be 0.3% is the legal limit to sell marijuana down here. So yeah, a lot of people lost jobs, probation violation, just for simple stuff like weed. So if you're a probation violation and you just break a little law, driving charge, you get violated. And now they want to give you time for something like that. But I'm just confused with the probation. If your probation is finished, but you had caught a charge, they won't let you off of probation because you have this charge going on. So if you lose the battle with the new charge, then they gonna violate you because you was on probation when it happened. Yeah, but I'm still innocent. I didn't tell that police to come bother me. That's what the person could say to the probation officer and to the judge. So that don't even mix, because the police could be lying, and we know that the police get away with murder out here, even when they're on camera, still get away with murder sometimes. So it's crazy. We need to get out here, get downtown, man, and them council meetings and stuff, man. We need to do it. Any city y'all in, y'all see this, y'all need to do it because it's rough, and I had to get it in my mental to get in that train of thought to start doing that. So I've been looking into it, and that's what made me bring it up today on my channel, because I'm about to start doing that, because what they doing out here is not right. So many people in jail, and a lot of these public pretenders, they out here they are the worst lawyers on the planet, and they are getting away with making it, whatever money they making, because they still charge you a fee now. I want to say $300, and then I guess they get a salary from court through taxpayers' dollars. But they are the worst because they are just how I want to say it. They are just a shield, like a glass shield between them and the prosecutor. They are just a person that can stand there, because in court, by law, you have to have a lawyer. So for them to charge people, they have to provide a lawyer for you. If they're going to be, bringing charges against you, you don't have money for a lawyer, because lawyers are expensive. And a lot of lawyer prices is really out of the way too, out of line. And a lot of pro bonos need to come up a little bit more, because we don't see none of that. They are milking the game, and that's why a lot of lawyers don't care about fighting for this type of stuff, because when you go to jail, they want their phones to ring so they can make some money. I get it. They went to school, paid for the college and all that, but some of them prices, what they be charging, is very ridiculous. Very ridiculous. And these public defenders, the only thing they do is say that they are your lawyer. They never call the person. They never, something got to be done about that too. For real. I'm about to create a program. It's going to be called the Bugaboo Program. and people can volunteer up for it to help people that's in them jails with no bail. They have no bail. And they in there waiting for a public defender to never go see him, never talk to him until it's time for them to go to court. Then they try to have a conversation with him about a case right before they about to go in front of the judge. And then don't hardly say nothing about the man or the woman's case to defend them the correct way and send them up to jail, up the river in jail. That's another thing that's killing off our black and Latino people, man. By sending them to jail for little stuff, and public defenders do not go there and check in and do their homework with them to fight the case the correct way. Now, I haven't spoken to the youth in school, but we setting that up as well, man. We setting that up as well. Because I definitely want to do that. I want to go in these schools and talk to these kids, because these kids need to learn the laws out here. And, you know, I'm going to start talking to some of these lawyers. Why y'all don't? I got a space down here with my homeboys that I can utilize, that they'll let me utilize. We need to get some lawyers to come once a week. They don't got to teach law, but they can teach the constitutional rights, the amendments to these kids. The kids need to know it so they'll know when the police pull them over. If one is driving, the other one in the passenger seat, when they go to him or her in the passenger seat and ask for ID, you don't have to show your ID because they didn't pull you over. You don't have to. And if they take you out that car and put handcuffs on you because you refuse, that's an automatic lawsuit. These kids need to know that. Don't do no fighting and arguing. Just say, I didn't do nothing. What is your suspicion of my crime for me to show you an ID? Only time you have to show your ID is if you did a crime and they know about it. And now you are being detained until further notice because they said that you robbed them. That's the only way. But if they ain't got no call about you was in the passenger seat too when the robbery occurred from that car, all of the above, you just getting pulled over because they said your license plates was something, or you didn't have your lights on, or you were speeding. All right, they should only be talking to that driver. You don't have to show ID. Kids need to know this stuff. And everybody need to train their kids when the officer might be wanting to cuff you, don't start no crying and going crazy and all that. Just go ahead and because you have no wins. The more you fight, the more of them gonna come. And you know, it just makes it worse, even though you might come out smoking later. But at the end of the day, just teach our kids how to be polite to them. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, I didn't do nothing. No, I don't. I don't want to show you my ID. And they ask you to get out the car, and you still might want to ask why and for what. But go ahead and get out the car. We need to teach our kids this stuff. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back and make sure you call. And I want these lawyers too, when we do these classes, these lawyers need to create a hotline for kids or people that violate, or people that is being violated by police also. But mostly for kids, because they're scared when the police do the bullcrap tactics that they do to them. And they probably don't know no better, but if they know they got a lawyer on standby that they can call, that could be part of their pro bono. They only gonna call when needed. Call and let them know that they got somebody to help. It won't hurt a few minutes out of your time, and it could be a phone where you leave a recording and you check the messages or something. I mean, we got to figure out a system to show our community that we care and that they are protected from these villains. Because these police, the bad ones are villains. The good ones are not. They are good police. I have nothing against police. Police are needed out here. When they say defund the police, I'd be like, for what? If you do that, do you know what will happen out here? No, you don't defund the police. Y'all go in there and make sure they get the proper training. And when they do things that's wrong, they get dealt with accordingly. They should be the ones that get dealt with accordingly more than anything, because they supposed to know the law. And the funny thing is, a lot of them don't even know the law that good. They hiring police that's really scared. That's why they shoot first, because they really scared to be outside. But they know they got their boys when they get on that walkie-talkie, they gonna rush, rush, rush. But they still scared. And they shoot and deal with the consequences later because they know they have immunity. And kids also need to know when the police got them pulled over, they might take their friend out the car and say, oh, your boy up back there in the back saying that you did this or you did that. They should have also understand you have the right to remain silent. Like, they hear those sayings, but they don't understand that it's a real saying and it's something that the police have to honor. You don't have to say nothing. You tell them, I don't answer questions. I'm protected by the Fifth Amendment, Fourth Amendment, all of the above. I don't answer questions. Never consent to them searching your car, even if it's clean. You know nothing is in there. Kids need to know this. I'm practicing my Fourth Amendment right. I don't consent to no search or seizure. If you search or seizure, you violate my rights. That's gonna be a lawsuit. They need to know how to spit this fluently to these police, because they too busy pulling us over, going to neighborhoods, see you, like the officer said, you spit somewhere. They jumping out on our kids in our neighborhoods. They too busy instead of really being somewhere investigating the crime. Or if it ain't no crime, just sit back and chill. You're getting paid anyway. But they superiors, the higher ups, sending them out there to do this. So what we gonna do about it? When they just the minions, they getting sent out there to do what the big dogs tell them, and then they get chastised if they don't come in with the correct quota every month, looking like little kids to the big bosses. So now they mad, they get out here and create friction, and that's why these murders happen from police, and that's why the higher ups don't let the body cams go out. They protect their officers with the bull crap because they the ones that sent them out there to do it. And they don't want them to say, well, this is what was told to me. So they're going to protect them so they don't talk on them and let the world be known. But thank God for that panel that I just showed y'all. It's officers that is not feeling that. And we need more of that. And we need more of our people going down to these meetings, because it's getting crazy how people are losing their lives to police. Young Scooter just lost his life, and they saying police shot him, but police saying they didn't shoot him. So we don't know yet. That's still allegedly in the air. But it's getting deadly out here. Since that choking, that Chavez cop, they trying to get him out of jail. Talking about he need to be free because what's the name that he choked, man? Name on the tip of my tongue, man. Damn. Finesse said, Boosie from the era when cops could only carry revolvers. That's a fact. When they only had them revolvers, man. They got a little crazy when they created that TNT. And they jumped out, started shooting people just because. But they had to stop it because a lot of complaints went in. Like, y'all getting ready to create chaos in the hood, think y'all gonna keep jumping out and shooting, and then nobody ain't gonna do nothing about it. That's when the real gunslingers was outside in real life. But yeah, they trying to free that cop for choking our boy out, man. I don't know why his name on the tip of my tongue. I'm just so upset, man, thinking about it. They trying to get him released. That's crazy. Nah, he died from being choked. What the white guy that's talking about freeing, what he seen that we didn't see. He shouldn't have never been holding him that long. Cuffed him and put him in the car. That's it. That's the whole factor of it right there. Yeah, that's a fact. Finesse analyzed said, yeah, that's a fact. They was getting shot back and brothers was beating them cases. That's a fact. Trina Bruton said, "Wow, this is shameful. I have a 16-year brown son about to start driving. Can you give me 5 tips for his safety or anything you can think of?" Well, like I was saying, while he's in that car, if he's driving and get pulled over, he got to show his license because he's driving. This is initial traffic stop. But if he didn't do anything wrong, but whatever they giving him his ticket for, he shouldn't. A traffic ticket, a traffic stop is normally 15 minutes tops. It should only take 15 minutes. Now they can come back and say, "All right, well, we got you for the traffic ticket, but you mind if we search your car?" Tell him to say, "No, I don't want you to search my car." Even if he's not doing nothing in the car, nothing. Never consent to a search. Tell him never to consent to searching his vehicle, because there's no need for you to want to search my vehicle. That's like discrimination. What make you want to search my car? You about to pull all these cars going by right now and want to search their car. Tell him to say no. He don't got to be smart with them. Just say, "Nah, sir, I don't want you to search my car." Now, if they tell him, "Man, we searching this car anyway," and tell him to get out the car and make him get out the car, once he know, and make sure he get body cam, dashboard cam for his car. Everybody need one of them. Once he get out the car and they still search his car, make sure he get their badge numbers and make sure that they sign that ticket so their name will be on that ticket if he gets a ticket, and if he don't get a ticket, and tell him to make sure he start filming with his phone and never argue with the police. Never. That's just a no-win situation. But never search. And if they start asking them questions, where you coming from? Tell them I don't answer questions. I mean, I'm just saying, where you been at? Before I just pulled you for speeding, where you was just at. Never answer questions, because police always trying to trick you into talking to them so they could change your words around and say you said this was what made them do that. When you don't give them that, nothing to feed on, there's nothing they can do. Nothing. So tell them don't never talk to the police about nothing. Like, "Sir, just let me get my ticket so I can leave. I'm late for a prior engagement." And if you keep trying to talk to him, tell him I don't answer questions. That's it. So these are the type of things that we need our kids to learn and know. And if your son is in somebody else's car and they come to the other side and ask for his ID, tell him he don't have to give his ID because he's not the one being pulled over. If they don't have no articulable suspicion of a crime, he don't have to do no showing no ID because he wasn't driving. And tell him the same thing. I don't answer questions if they ask him where he coming from or what your friend was doing if they pull his friend out the car. I don't answer questions. Everybody in that car need to know I don't answer questions, and they have the right to do that. Finesse Analyze said you gave them the proper rundown. You're a prisoner of war, essentially. Give name, rank, and no. Anything else is for an attorney. That's a fact. That's a fact. And that's it. And always keep your cameras rolling when the police pull you, man. Because now they planting stuff on people just to get their point across. They running up in people's house with illegal warrants, which is not considered a warrant. So that's breaking the entry by law. But they get away with it if the people don't push the right things. They getting our kids and sitting them down on the side of the curves, humiliating them. That to certain people can do something to a person's mental. That ain't used to no police doing stuff like that to them, especially when they know in their mind they not even doing nothing wrong. They not doing nothing wrong, and they gotta go like, what is this all about? And then they're gonna be scared. Anybody get pulled over by the police gonna be scared and nervous because they don't know what's going on. And they know the police use jail for their backup and their guns. We have no wins over none of this stuff that they can do to us. And we got to fight and figure it out later on. That's crazy. So we are, we are in some mess out here, y'all, with these police. It's more scarier being outside with the police than a lot of these criminals. Because you don't know if you got the right police that pulled you over, that just want to do his job and keep it moving. Opposed to one that have an ulterior motive in his head when he pulled you and want to play games with your life. When they go home to their family every day when they clock out. And they kids, they loving their kids to death in good schools and nobody's bothering their kids. It's dangerous for our kids outside right now. And it's something that we need to do about it, man. Vito still said, Boosie, you look them in their eyes when you got a tough cop? Or do you suggest they bow their heads and just be submissive? No, I advise you, when you're talking to them, you look them in your eye. Look them in the eyes when you talk. You still be a man or a woman about the situation, whatever age bracket you are driving. You look them in the eyes because, the eyes tell a lot. No, I don't want you to search my car. So they can understand, oh, no, this is a serious young man, young woman. He know what he talking about. Because you got to look like you know what you're talking about. That's why these classes need to be learned. Need to be taught so the kids can learn how to spit that lingo fluently. Or should I say, speak that language fluently to these officers so they'll know, oh, he been taught something. He's too young to just not know. He's too young to just know this that easily. He's been taught. I better be careful how I approach this situation. Some of them will let their ego get to them like, oh, you think you talking law to me? Yeah, okay. And that's when the part where I say, if they try to pull you out your car, don't do no argument. Just go ahead and say, why am I getting out of the car? They pull your door open, then you got no choice. Go ahead and get out because they're going to bring more and more and they're going to jump all over you. And then it's liable to lead to you getting shot, tased, maced, all of that. Just go ahead. If they say they're going to cuff you, go ahead and get cuffed. Just know you got a lawsuit coming. See, kids got to understand they got to look forward to something happening for them in their favor, and which will be a big check, which kids like to. You're going to get you a big check, and it'll alleviate you being hurt by the police and all of the above. Finesse said facts. Look them in the eyes. Don't have to screw face them. Exactly. But just let them know they're dealing with a smart man or a smart woman. That's right. Even with the tough cops, that is what it is. They can talk crazy to you all day long, but when you kill them, it's called kill them with kindness. What do you mean? I pulled you over because you was doing it. Okay, sir. Oh, my bad. Well, I need you to get out the car. Why? You said you pulled me for speeding. To my knowledge, a speeding ticket only takes 15 minutes. Where you was coming from? Oh, I don't answer questions. Oh, you don't answer questions? Get out the car. Don't get no, I gotta get out the car. I ain't do nothing, sir. I ain't doing that. Don't, all that escalates. Always be on de-escalate with the police, but smart with brains with the police. Always. Never try to go back and forth with them because you don't have no wins. After you get out the hospital or you might get killed and your family going through a whole bunch of stuff over something that small. And it has happened in different states everywhere with these police. And the kids just didn't know no better. And a lot of this stuff need to be spreaded. So make sure y'all share this, man. Because this is needed for our kids. Never be woofing with the police. Never. You don't have no wins at all. And don't let them intimidate you to speak your mind with the facts of the matter at hand while they pulled you. Don't have to do nothing extra and don't volunteer no information because they will turn it around and try to make it, when they do lock you up, they'll say, well, he was saying this and saying that, but they'll word it a way where it can lead up to a charge or lead up to them doing what they just did to you, which they know they violated your rights and violated you as a person. So the less calmer you are, the more to throw them off with trying to do the bull crap. The less you speak, the more you're going to win your case. And that's a fact. If our kids always learn this and understand this, a lot of those murders wouldn't have happened unless a cop just straight up jump out and shoot somebody. And that's all the way crazy. But I'm just saying, overall, if a cop talking to you, just kill them with kindness. Even if they acting mean and tough, it don't even matter. Because at the end of the day, you're going to come off on top. You're going to go get you a lawsuit, and you're going to get you some money. A lot of these young kids will be having you know how many young kids probably had big major lawsuits in our urban neighborhoods and never followed through and pursued it? And always make sure y'all get their badge number and make sure they sign that ticket. That's it. But like Jazzy said, man, I recommend y'all getting not body cam, dashboard cams also, and always use your phone as well to record what's going on. That's it. And another thing for y'all parents out there that don't know, always have your kids, let them know to already have their phones ready. And don't be reaching in their pockets and pull the phone out, because that's an excuse to say they thought they had a gun. All of the above. It's always about motion and movement and what you say to police. And the less of any of that is the better. Always. You will always come out on top. And that's a fact. But yeah, make sure y'all share, man. Share and share, because this is needed, man. This is definitely needed. And I wanted to reach out to y'all to let y'all see that there are cops that are good cops, and it was a panel of them that I showed at the beginning of this video. So if y'all didn't catch the beginning, it'll be back up in a few minutes, and then y'all get to go and check it. Y'all see them cops up there speaking reality that they did not like the upper, higher up sending them out to attack Black and Latino people, 14 to 21. And these are cops that's telling you this stuff. And y'all need to do more research and do more homework on a lot of these other panels that is against these police that do all this stuff, because it's crazy that they still doing it and they getting away with it. All the noise that people do make when they do marches and all that is still going like in one ear out the other, and our higher up, our politicians, is doing nothing about it. Nothing. But they out here trying to stop Black History Month or stop historical Black colleges, stop teaching history in school, but they not stopping these police from killing our people. And that ain't cool. Or locking them up. Now father is gone from their child, or a child get locked up for police putting stuff on them, and they getting arrested. They getting 30 and 40 years, and then you find out that they free after they did 30 years, interrupted their whole life. Messed our children, that messes up our communities, man. It messes up the child. Let's just say, well, it mess up our kids that got kids. If they get locked up, mess their child up mentally. They might grow up and dictate what they did. And now they keep the police with a job, doing foul stuff, and or just police having jobs. If the less crime, the less money they gonna be needing, because ain't too many crimes happening. And that's why they gotta violate the game and send them out there to prey on us and make up charges or find something that they did do. Something as little as spitting on the ground. That's Like really crazy, man. Finesse Analyze said the inmates got to protest that too. That's a fact. Now they're trying to take the what out of prison? The AMs? So we got to be careful, y'all. They trying to take the cameras out of the jail? That's crazy. Yeah, and them some foul boys. Why would they take the cameras out of the jails? They just witnessed a murder in jail from the police. Why would they want to take the cameras out of jail? So now y'all telling us that y'all mad that they got found being murderers inside of jail where people pay their tax dollars, their hard-earned money that feed their families. That's crazy. Hell no. They need them body cams at all times. I don't know what politician would agree to that and let that law get passed. Never. You know how many people already probably lost their lives just because there was no body cams in there? Before body cams got inside of correctional officers having to have them? No, never. We cannot stop that. We definitely got to protest against that. Please make sure y'all share. Everybody share this video. We need it in the algorithms bad. We need it in the algorithms bad. Yeah, they some foul people, Finesse. They some foul people to actually do that once a murder. So why they don't take cameras away from grocery stores or convenience stores when people get robbed so the police can see who committed the crime? That need to happen too then, if that's the case. Which I don't want that to happen because family work in them stores and they need them cameras to protect their loved ones. And if somebody did something wrong, then justice need to be served. Robbing stores and shooting people and killing them. They way out of line for that idiotic, stupid stuff. But I'm just making an example, man. That's crazy. Yeah, y'all got some people in jail. Make sure y'all share this or y'all send this to them some kind of way. They got phones running around in there. Vito Steve said facts. The body cam stopped them from killing brothers in them back rooms. Yes, indeed, it does. They fine with the cameras in the hallways because it catches the inmates in crimes. Right. Nah. We need to know what the police is doing, and the body cam still protect the police. If an inmate do something to him, at least he had the body cam on. So it protects the police too. It don't go one way, it's both ways. So it's equal. Now y'all want to take them out because it's showing police did a murder? Man, if that ain't something crazy, we need our people talking about that, our big higher-ups that protect our urban communities, man. The Reverend Jesse Jacksons and all that need to talk about that. He probably did because Reverend Jesse Jackson be on it, so I can't front on that. But they hate the body cams because it stops the mysterious suicides. Exactly. That Epstein dude, he died. They ain't had no body cams for that. And he was a white guy, but y'all know what that was about. He could have told on some big dogs that would have put them in jail. So they'll sacrifice one of their own. And this ain't nothing against white people. Like I always tell people, I got great white friends. Love them to death, man. I can't imagine the lawsuit money Unique would have had if they captured them smashing the axe handle in his mouth on camera. Facts. Them brothers went through hell in the pre-2000s. That's a fact. Big lawsuit, but it wasn't on camera. That's deep, man. That's very deep. That's very deep, man. I'm going to do more of these. videos, and I love everybody, all my knowledgeable people, man, that be up here chiming in, like Vito, Finesse, Jazzy. Epic Eric ain't come up today, but normally he'll be up here. I got a few of them, all my knowledgeable people, man. We gotta keep these conversations going and keep it moving to to protect our up and coming kids, man, and even protect our grown ups that's mind their business, going to a grocery store, going to a mall, and the police pull them over and do what they want to do to them, and they got that immunity, man. Know that they can't go to jail. They go home without, or go home with pay, sometimes without, but majority of the time go home with pay. So they happy to do something real quick and send them home, and they ain't gotta go to work. They don't care. It's all an inside Ponzi scheme with all of them police. And we can't do nothing about it when we pay them to protect us. But they out here doing rebellious stuff against us with our own money. This is crazy. A lot of brothers is in jail right now for stuff they didn't do and can't get out. And they got to use these public pretenders that don't come in there and see them and talk about the case, and then they have to get time and or in there with a big bail. A prosecutor's biggest love is a person that's in there with a big bail, and they'll keep prolonging the case for however long. Normally, a case is supposed to get done in 6 months if a prosecutor is not ready. That means you are violating their speedy trial rights. But they'll leave you in there, and if you don't know the law, and the public defenders don't come and pull you up in front of a judge and say, you already been in there for 8 months, almost a year, and nothing happened. They don't do that. These public defenders don't do none of that. If they not ready, they can't hold nobody that long. That's the statutory limits with fighting these cases. And it's going on. I seen a guy the other day said he been going to court for 4 years from some case, and he won't cop out to it. 4 years? So what we supposed to do? How can we stop that? Nobody's stopping it. But the longer you sit in jail, the more you're gonna say, man, I've been here 2 years, man. I know I ain't do it, but I gotta get out of here, man. They can give me my time. I'll just take the whatever they offering, and I've been in here a certain amount of time, and then I'll just be on my way, at least going home, man. I'm tired of sitting in this county jail, eating this nasty food, being told when to go in and out, to lay down, and all of the above. These lawyers, these public defenders are a problem also, very much so, and nobody's saying nothing about that. They are just like the police that's outside violating people. Rights. Finesse said, yep, they want you to plead. That's why you got to give it up to Diddy for fighting his case. That's a fact. They don't like that at all, especially the feds. Not at all. That's a fact. Willie Webster said that's when the district attorney of New York picks up cases and keep them ongoing. But what you mean behind that, Willie Webster? That's when the district attorney pick it up. Even if they picked it up, it should have been some type of judgment by then. The prosecutor should have had everything that they needed. So if y'all have it, what are we waiting for to go to trial? That should still be against the law. Because why you would have, if you got all this stuff against them, why would you have a person in jail sitting this long, taking time out of their life where they could be with their family or building their life? That's all I'm saying. Hello? All right. But yeah, man, y'all new up here, please subscribe. Please share this because it's very important information that people need to know. For the young kids, all of the above. the grown people, all of the above that don't know. It's not good and it's not fair to us as a society as a whole. It's not fair and it's not right, and they're taking lives by sending our people to jail. It's just as equivalent to it's just as equivalent to police killing our people. It's the same thing. They send them to jail just to make a quota and then go home to their families and their kids that they send to school every day and want to make sure their kids are safe. But they out here attacking ours and attacking our freedom and our livelihood, how we pay for, pay our bills and try to live in society. Now, if a person commits a crime and they catch them, albeit that's just what it is. That's the law. We have no rights to talk about a person that commit a crime. It is what it is. So we're not against that either. The police doing their job the correct way. Because there are good cops out here that we can't signal out all cops because it's not all cops. And y'all just seen it on that panel that I just showed y'all. There are cops that's not with that at all. So yeah, man. Y'all share, hit that like button, hit that notification button so y'all know when I'm up here. We're going to have these discussions on the regular as much as possible. And, I'm going to still report the other stuff that's going on with our celebrities and all that and give some good feedback on it, not negative, because we don't practice that up here, but we will check somebody if they think that they're going to be doing things disrespectfully, distasteful. It is what it is. Willie Webster said, what I mean by that is when defenders are the ones with allegations, but they give up and don't show up for court anymore, the states pick it up. Yeah, if they don't come to court, then they're going to get a warrant. So, yeah, you always go to court. You got to go to court. If you're out on bail, go to court. There's going to never be a way around it because either way, you're going to have to face it. And then you end up getting caught later on when you're trying to put your life together or you want to put your life together, but you can't because you have a warrant and you're on the run. So it's never going to add up. So the basic thing to it all is what me and my brothers be preaching on all of our podcasts. Don't do no crime if you can't do no time. And you don't have to worry about being picked up, the district attorney picking it up, all of the above. And to the police out there, do your job the correct way. Don't think that you could just do it and hope that a person cop out and then y'all don't get held accountable for it. That's their biggest fear, that a person don't cop out and keep coming to court, and keep them coming to court, because now it's going to show that they violated somebody's rights. Even though they still don't get in trouble, they probably get a spank on the hand. It just depends on how the person attacks the situation. That's it. But nah, don't do no crimes, man. That's just that. Now, if you get violated for a crime, you got to fight and go all the way with it, man. I know it hurts. And these police is getting away with murder because you get a public defender that don't care for you and ain't fighting for you. So we need to start this program, the Bugaboo program. People volunteer, pick an inmate that's in jail because it's public information of who's in jail. It's just like you can volunteer to clean a neighborhood street. That's your street to clean because you volunteered for it. People volunteer to do a lot of things. People need to volunteer, pick an inmate and find out who their lawyer is and call that lawyer every chance that you get. Even if you're just sitting at your job, call them or texting them, blow their phones up. That's called the Bugaboo program. This is why this need to be shared. The Bugaboo program. Pick you an inmate that's in there and their lawyers is not coming to see them. You might want to investigate their case, make sure you ain't trying to help nobody that really did a crime, but figure their case out. And only thing you got to do is sit and call whenever you at work. And when you get home, you can call. If you go in the grocery store, you can send them a text. Well, I haven't heard from you about John Doe or Jane Doe. Jane Doe said that, or John Doe said that they haven't heard from you. I'm his caretaker or whatever you want to call it. I'm her caretaker. That's what's needed, man. And Finesse said facts. Now they got them PlayStations and Rikers to distract them from fighting their case. They playing mental warfare. Yeah, that's crazy. See, you'll play PlayStation all day, so it'll take your mind away from your charge. And you'll just sit back and wait for your demise. Because PlayStation got people out here in the real world lacking their responsibilities, playing a PlayStation game all day and living up under a woman. The majority is these men, and living up under a woman while she go to work, and then they wait to try to get her tax money and call themselves going to flip it. You never knew how to flip before you even had the money, and then to mess the money up, and now they back to square one. She working and he's sitting in the house doing nothing. Bum ninja stuff, man. So now you in jail. What you gonna do more than anything? Play a PlayStation and stay out of trouble. But at the end of the day, it might cause more fights than anything. People don't like to lose in them games, and then people gonna want to know who's next. And or people might, the tough guy might want to skip over who got next. Nah, I'm taking you up. Nah, I'm next. And it ends up in fights. But if you are in jail and y'all got loved ones that's in jail, tell them don't let that PlayStation catch them slipping with staying on top of their case. Period. This is not a game. This is real out here. It's real. And jail is killing our black people, man. Jaggy said we playing PlayStation. They building space stations. Facts. Nas quotes. But don't get caught up playing them dumb games, man. Letting them people. I don't even play. I used to love PlayStation, but I get up and I'm gone. Yo, it's time to go, man. We've been doing this too long. Nah, negative. Now, if I ain't doing nothing, I'm around the crib chilling, me and my boys, we gonna play. But when I got business to take care of, that ain't even on my mind. But it used to be. I'll mix it in with my business here and there because I love playing basketball. I love the basketball games on there, but at the end of the day, that ain't putting no money in my pocket. Now, if I figure out a way to sit and play it all day and make some money, then yeah, I'll be doing that because I'm getting paid from it. But other than that, I'm not playing no PlayStation all day. That's stupid. That's dumb for a grown person to ever do in life, to get caught up and mixed up in that game, knowing that real world is still going on outside. It's very dangerous, man. That's very dangerous, man. Dangerous for your health. Dangerous for your freedom. Dangerous for you to be out in society to have a roof over your head with lights and heat. And or take care of your kids. Because everything passing by while you in there playing the game, real people outside working. So that's a fact, man. I've been up here long. I got to go open up the taco, hot dog, slushy truck, go get me some money right now. I love being up here talking with y'all, my knowledgeable people. But I might come back up here on the truck and we go over a few other things and discuss some other things, man. And big respect to all of y'all that stay support me, that come up here and, and give me some insight with things with the knowledge that y'all have, man. For real, I appreciate y'all, man. Your boy Big Boosie, I'm signing out. Y'all new to the channel, subscribe. Everybody hit that like button and share this, because this information is needed, man. I'll talk to y'all. See y'all in a little while. I'll be back in a few.